Okay guys, my first video in 2017, I using my MaxiSys Pro now, which is got this J2534 VCI, Vehicle Communication Interface, that you can, if you get the access and the web, you can flash computers and stuff like that. Now this is a 2001 Pontiac, and they believe that the alarm system in this car is active. That is not the case in this car. Injectors 77 milliseconds, they're wide open. I crank the car from, I do a bypass and a relay, activate the fuel pump, and did a bypass in the front, crank the engine, still don't want to crank. So the next step here, and because it's raining, it's gonna be very hard to do this thing. Okay, I don't got no crank situation. Like if you got the neutral switch bad, I wiggle the parking, I put in neutral here, the selector, and nothing happens in the car. I would like to check the 3X sensor and the 4X sensor at the same time that I crank it in the engine, but that is not gonna be possible, guys. It's raining here and it's very nasty. It's and I'm gonna work. I'm working in the field now, and it's gonna be tough to do this. But the next direction here, I would like to crank the engine and see the signal here and these two guys, and see this one here too. I can select this, and I can select that, and I can select that one, stay like that, and that one stay like that. Also, you can select these two guys here and show those guys too, to see, you know, how they acting up when you crank the engine by the starter. I do not check all the fuses, and that is a shame, because you gotta check all the fuses. I taking his word for it, but this car got a fuse box, and this section here, he got another fuse box there, and the passenger side, and he got an engine compartment fuse box also. So again, it will not crank. They tried to do a bypass in the pass lock, but if you go back here, let me see if I got output drivers. Let me see what they let me do here. Model enable. Fuel pump circuit history fault. Okay, so I did a bypass in the fuel pump, and we hear it running, but in this case say fault here, and the injector, they say, is all okay. So let me go back here to see if I got any functional test. A special function, injector balance, cylinder power balance, camshaft relearn. I go to the engine. I don't need that. Fuel injection balance. Let's see if I got a fan relay. evap perk. I activate the fuel pump and I can hear it there. Turn it off. Let me see, loop status, generator field, fan relays. Let me see if I got something in the transmission. This is only when the transmission is being replaced, so I don't gonna do that. So trouble code, read codes, and all I got is evap. Okay, let me see what I got now, because fuel pump relay control still quit because I do a bypass, and that is a new one because I did a bypass because it's not cranking from the ignition switch. So guys, further diagnostic required in this car, and I don't gonna do it. And this place I'm gonna do it in another place. And let me see if I can close this door here, because the rain is getting nasty out there. So live data active test, we're gonna do this like this. We gotta find a dry spot to troubleshoot this car. And if I do a quick erase here, you're gonna see that it stayed two solid codes, hard codes here, and nothing related for not starting this engine. I'm gonna show you the trouble codes, guys. Is related with emissions and the evap system. Okay, and that is the 443 and the 449, and is evap emission perk solenoid control circuit and the vent solenoid, both of them. Okay guys, so I get back to you in this 2001 what are the he wants to do here, because I cannot work in this car here. More diagnostics requires, and getting a schematic to see if I can supply power to the ignition switch here and do a bypass and try to crank the car from here. And you need more information with that. You need more schematics, and so you can do the right diagnostic in this car. Thank you for watching, guys. Again, this is my new MaxiSys Pro, and it's the first time I use it. Thank you. Okay, this is the starting diagram for that Gran amp there. Sorry about that. Okay, as you can see here is under the hood a fuse block in the left side of the engine compartment. On the strut tower is a fuse box, and it's a 40 amp fuse that supply power to the ignition. Okay, so when we turn the switch to start position, this yellow wire should have 12 volts or battery voltage. Okay, when you got this 12 volt battery voltage, just apply here through the neutral switch, because this car is automatic, so the automatic gonna go through the neutral switch, and this purple wire, it will supply power to the starting and the starter solenoid. Now if you got manual transmission, this switch here, when you press the clutch, it will supply the power to the solenoid, starter solenoid. So simple test in that car, because I believe is something wrong with this switch here that is not supplying the power to get the car running, and this main switch supply power to the ECM, to all the modules. So this is the main switch. So that being said, this is got a troubleshoot before we go further in this car. And I did test with the MaxiSys Pro to see if we got any alarm or code for anti-theft. The car do not have anti-theft problems. So this car got ignition problem in the switch. So that is got to be tested before jumping to another direction. Thank you guys.